Hey, y'all. It is your main man, T Squared, Tristan Thomas. This is Toss, the Tristan on Sports Show. I am back. It's been a while. Life has been something. Life has been something. Normally when I start the show, you get the full on intro, and you get the full on once again it's on, and you get the music, you get the horns and the guitars, and you get all of me. You get 100%. And that's not to say that you're not getting 100% of me right now, because you very much are. But you're getting a stripped down version of Toss. We're taking off the music. We're taking off the fancy editing and the sound effects and the transitions. We're stripping it all back. And when you do that, you're left with me and only me. I'm calling this the Black Show. And I don't mean black in a derogatory sense. Hell, in business, black is never a derogatory term. You want to be in the black. Where you don't want to be as a business is in the red. But I'm stripping it back. And I'm leaving it a spotlight on just me and my thoughts. And I thought long and hard about this. The last time we did a show, it's been a while. It's been a long while since we did a Toss, but we've been active on the Toss Facebook page. We've been active on Twitter. We've been active on Toss Nation Media, especially with Bucks playoffs coming up. And I wanted to talk about all that. I wanted to do a regular show, a regular Toss, to get everybody back into the swing of things and to welcome back Toss. And there's so much to talk about. The Bucks being in the playoffs, the NBA being back after this worldwide pandemic, which is still currently going on. The WNBA being back. The MLB being back, even with all of their problems. The NFL getting ready to come back in less than 2 weeks. I wanted to talk about all of this. But there was something in my heart that just would not let me do it. And I had to strip it all back. Before I could do a regular Toss, before I could do a regular Tristan on Sports show, I had to do this, because at the end of the day, and I'm proud to be so, I am a black man. I am a proud black man. So it wouldn't feel right to jump back into the sports end of it all if I didn't talk about the life of it all. So that's what we're going to do here today. And if I lose listeners, then so be it. I don't give a damn, because my life and black lives mean more than viewership to me. They mean more than listenership to me. They mean more than eyes on the website to me. They mean the world to me. So if that's you, unsubscribe, cut me off your list, stop following me, stop DMing me garbage. Do what you need to do so you don't have to see or hear my content any longer, because I will damn sure do the same for you. And now that the bigots are out of the way, let me get these things off my chest. I am a scholar. I am a writer, a published author, a podcaster. I've been on Wisconsin television since I was 12 years old. I'm a brother, a son, a nephew, an uncle, a great uncle, a husband, a father. I am all these things and more. But when I step foot out of my home, all most people see is a 6 foot, 205-pound black man. All they see is a threat. They don't give a damn about any of the things that I've just explained that I am. They only see my skin color. And they bring with it every single stereotype that they've ever learned and continue to perpetuate. And let me be 1,000% clear. I'm not talking about all white people, because I know I'm going to get DMs and I know I'm going to get emails saying not me, or how can you just blanket statement every single white person. I'm not saying every single white person thinks of me in that light. But you got to understand something. I'm 38 years old. I've been black for every single one of those years. I was born and raised in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. I did not leave that long ago. Pretty long, but not that long ago. Milwaukee, Wisconsin is one of the most segregated cities in all of the United States. When you cross that bridge from the north side to go to the south side, you knew exactly where you were. There are certain parts that you go through, and there are certain parts that I went through on my way from work. I'm talking all the way over from 27th and Concordia, all the way out to South 27th Street, 27th and Loomis, to go and work at Pick and Save for 5 years. I had to trek from the north side of Milwaukee to the south side of Milwaukee to go to work. You knew exactly where you were when you were on that 27 bus line. You knew when you were transitioning from the north side of Milwaukee, which is predominantly black, to the part of the south side that's predominantly Mexican, Hispanic, to the part of the south side that was white. Greenfield, St. Francis, Franklin, Oak Creek, all of that. And there were challenges. The segregation there is real. My mother, who would have loved to send all of her kids to the neighborhood schools, because we lived on the north side of Milwaukee. North side of Milwaukee it's rough, man. People don't characterize Milwaukee with being rough, but it's rough. She would take stock of the schools in the neighborhood every single time. And she wanted to send us to a neighborhood school. There was more faces like ours. There were more teachers with faces like ours and skin like ours. And she wanted us to get a certain kind of education. But the reality of it is, those schools in our neighborhood did not have the resources to be able to educate us on the level that my mom was satisfied with. There were more metal detectors than there were new books. There were far too many kids per classroom. So my mom made the decision to send us to Jeremiah Curtin Elementary School on the south side, just blocks away from where I ended up working for 5 years as an older adult. And the school was predominantly white. There was a small segment of black kids who were bussed in, and we were that's part of that small segment. My two older sisters graduated from that school. I graduated from that school. When I left that school, my little brother, my little sister, and two of my cousins were attending that school, and then my mom decided that she will leave it up to them. Do you guys want to continue to go to that school, or do you want to get transferred? And we'll come up with a plan together. But the schools that we attended when we were younger were predominantly white because they had the resources. And that is part of the problem in this country. I'm literally living this, and I'm literally telling people and displaying this and putting this out there and helping them try to learn, and they don't believe it. Not because they're just in sheer shock and they're saying, oh, I can't believe it. I can't believe it. They simply don't believe this exists. I'm sitting here making it up. My brothers and sisters and cousins and many others like us are just making it up. Why would we want to make shit up like this? We want better. We deserve better because we are Americans. Regardless of what history tried to draw us as, which is 3/5 of a person, we are whole people. We want better. We deserve better. But it doesn't stop there. It's not just the education that is disproportionately bad. It's the jobs. Let's go back to that pick and save that I used to work at on South Loomis. Was there for 5 years. Was just starting college at that point. So it was a job to make it through college. But then my mom was also sick and my dad was also sick. So it was also a job to help around the house to make sure they were okay. But that's a different story for a different day. I worked hard, really hard in this position. And for a time period, I thought that this would be the position that I would grow into and make a career out of, because this is something I had done since I was 8 years old, literally on a corner store on about 30th and Galena. Somewhere around there. I would work a couple hours a day at the corner store, stocking and cashiering and cleaning and taking inventory. At 8 years old, I was doing all of this. At 8 years old, I was in the workforce. So I thought that this would be the career path that I would take, but that itch to be in communications, that itch to do what I'm doing currently was just always there. But while I'm in college, for the time being, I'm going to do this. So I got really good at it. I knew that store inside and out. I knew how to do everything within that location. Even some things that they didn't think I could do, I could do. I proved my worth. And about the third year I was there, hadn't missed a day, hadn't missed any time. I decided, let's kick this up a notch. I'm going to go and apply for the vacant assistant manager position. And I did that. And they come back and say, hey, learn how to do this and then apply again next year. Okay, fine. All right, you guys got some constructive criticism for me. Okay, I'll go and do that. I'll learn what I need to learn, come back stronger, and I'm going to get this position. Year 4 comes around. I learned everything that they told me to. The performance hasn't dipped one bit. Oh, well, if you learn how to do this, apply again next year. At this point, my eyebrow is right, is raised at this point, right? Fine. All right. Okay. I think y'all trying to play me, but all right, I'm going to continue to work hard. I'm going to continue to prove my worth, even though I think I've proved it. And I'm going to apply next year. 5th year rolls around. I've learned everything in that store. I could open it. I could close it. I could do inventory. I could do everything. And they don't hire me for the 3rd straight year. Instead, they hire a 22-year-old, fresh out of college, no experience within a grocery store whatsoever. They hired him because he had a father who knew someone higher up in the company and made a phone call. And there he was. His first weekend of working, he asked off so he could paint his condo in downtown Milwaukee. If you're asking me the question, was he white? You are correct. He was white. I tell this story, and there's going to be some people out there who may listen to this or may not and think, I don't believe that. There's no way. When I'm the one who lived it, I'm the one with the dark skin, and I'm telling you what the situation was. There were no black managers in that store, despite no shortage of black people working in that store. I was the longest tenured black employee in that store and knew how to do everything. And yet I could not get a promotion. This is part of the problem in this country. Even when you work triple hard, you don't get anywhere near as far. But then let's back it up from there. Let's talk about the police, because we know the police have been a huge goddamn problem in this country. Qualified immunity has been a big goddamn problem in this country. Now, I'm going to preface this with this. I know there are good police out there. And I am not talking about them, but it is damn hard to see who the good police are, because there's so much bad police. And people immediately say, hey, well, if they were so good, why aren't they outing the bad cops? Well, then people don't know that the good cops get abused and get their badges stripped when they try to bring that stuff to the forefront, but that should not even stop them from doing so. They should be willing to make that sacrifice to make something like this stop. But have I had horrible interactions with police? Absolutely, I have. I was 15 years old. It was around November. And it was at that time where It was pretty decent in the day. It was it was in the 60s, and we're in Wisconsin, so it was like in the 60s during the day, but then would dip down into like the 40s, maybe even 30s at night, and it would get darker sooner. I remember it was a Saturday, and I went out and I was hooping with my boy, and we hooped all day on the blacktop. Man, I mean, you know what it is when you hooping. I mean, you just lose the day, man. You just go game after game after game. You stop, you get a little bit of water, you might get a little nibble, but for the most part, you're just going and going and going. And then the day was starting to get a little bit later. We was getting hungry. My boy's like, hey, let's go kick it at my crib. Let's get a bite to eat. And then, he had a girlfriend that he wanted to go and see a little bit later. So whatever. So we went back to his crib, and we're walking, and he lived not that far away from where I had lived just a few years prior. We had just moved maybe 3 years prior. And it was, like I said, a rough neighborhood. We were on the north side of Milwaukee. It is rough. It is really rough. And I've seen a lot, but that's a different story for a different day. There's a constant police presence in that neighborhood. There was a cop sitting on the corner, and we're going into his house, and my boy's house, that is. And we go in, and we're getting a bite to eat, and we play a couple of games on the Sega. I think it was NBA Live. Had to be like NBA Live 95 or something like that. And now it's getting dark, and the wind is picking up, and I'm like, damn, well, you know what? I got to get going. I got to get home. My mom is probably going to worry about me. And this is before cell phones were all over the place. It's before everybody had a smartphone in their back pocket and everything else. So I'm like, damn, I kind of got to get home. My mom's going to worry about me. She wants me back at a certain time. So, let me get back home. He's like, cool, man, I'll walk you to the bus stop. Because, that's just what you do. And, especially in that neighborhood, you want to make sure your people are safe. So we walk out of his house. Cop car is not there anymore. And we're walking, and, the bus stop is, about 10 blocks away or so. And we're walking. We cut through this field, and we're walking through this field, and a cop car just swoops in. The cop hops out of the car. Stop. Stop right there. What are you doing? Sir, we're just walking. We came out of, I know what house you came out of. Okay. What's in your backpack? And he's talking to me at this point because my boy Jovan didn't have his backpack anymore. We were at home. He dropped his clothes off. I had my hooping clothes in my backpack. I'm like, I have clothes and basketball shoes in there, sir. Like, that's it. I really don't think you need to search my bag. Well, why don't you want me to search your bag, sir? You have no probable cause to search my bag. I don't feel comfortable with you searching my bag. Where's your ID? We literally both have high school IDs on us. We don't have Milwaukee County IDs on us. We're 15 freaking years old. I hand him my ID. My boy hands him his ID. And he's just standing there looking him over. I'm like, sir, we were just walking. I'm going to a bus stop. My friend was making sure I got to the bus stop fine. Can we have our IDs back, and can we go? Are we free to go? To which he looked at me and says, I need you to shut your mouth right now. I'm the one asking the questions here. Shut your mouth. Me and my boy just kind of look at each other like, what the hell? Like, we didn't do anything other than walk. We came out of his house. We're just walking. So he kind of tosses our IDs back to us after about 10 minutes being in his car. He's trying to run our names. We don't have any record. We're not in the system. And he tells us, keep your asses out of trouble. Speeds off. I'm like, just looking at my boy. And we're just like both shaking our heads like, are you serious? We can't even walk in peace. He's like, man, I'm a kick it with you at this bus stop. You know, let's go to the bus stop. I'm gonna kick it with you till this bus come in because I want to make sure you straight. So we get over there, and for some reason, this bus is just not coming. And this is the 27 again. And I'm like, man, I know you got somewhere to be. Just go ahead. Because, you know, he wanted to go and see his girlfriend. He's like, you sure? I'm like, yeah, I'm cool, man. I'm probably just going to start walking up. And, you know, when you start walking, the bus usually ends up showing up. You got to run to the nearest bus stop. It's probably what's going to happen. But, yeah, man, I mean, I'll catch up with you at school on Monday. You sure? Yeah, I'm good, man. I'm good. Go ahead. We dap it up. You know, hey, I'll see you on Monday. All right, I'll see you on Monday. And I start walking. And I walk in, and, you know, it's chilly. So, you know, now I'm zipping up my jacket. And, you know, then this particular jacket didn't have a hood on it. So, you know, it's a little bit chilly, a little bit windy. And I'm adjusting my backpack. And I'm coming to this corner, and I'm getting ready to cross the street. Cop car swoops in right on the corner. And it's the same damn cop. He jumps out of the car. Get your hand out of your pockets. His hand's on his gun at this point. I'm flabbergasted. I'm like, what did I do? I'm like, I didn't do anything. Get your hands out of your pocket. Now his gun's out of his holster. My hands are out of my pocket. He's got his gun in his hand. He snatches my backpack off my back. Get over to the car. Put your hands on the hood. I go over. I put my hands on the hood of the car. He finally holsters his gun, and he's just ripping through my book bag. And what was in there? Exactly what I had told this chump before. My hooping clothes and my hooping shoes. That's it. He has my stuff on the concrete, throws my book bag down. He comes over, and he's patting me down. And he's patting me down hard. Are you sure you didn't come out of that house, that other house next door to where your boy claimed he came from? Sir, you watched where we came from. I don't know what this has to do with why you stopped me right now. I was just walking. I didn't do anything illegal. Am I free to go? No, you're not free to go. Because I'm the one that's in power. You don't have any power. This is what the officer told me. Flat to my face. He snatches my ID out of my pocket, runs my name again. I'm standing there, and again, it's cold. I don't have a hood on this jacket. My clothes and my shoes and my book bag are just laying on the ground. He comes back, tosses his ID at me. Watch your effing mouth when you talking to a cop. Know your place. This is what I was told by this officer. And he gets in his car and he slowly drives off. I'm left there on the curb with my shirt on the ground, my shorts on the ground, my shoes on the ground, my book bag on the ground. And it's now being carried by the wind down the street to where I have to get up and grab it. And at this point, I'm just so damn numb to everything that's going on. I felt pissed off. I felt violated. I felt angered. I felt helplessness. All because this dude with a badge felt like somebody was disrespecting him and he wanted to prove who had the power in this structure. I am so much to so many people. But for a certain segment of people, I'm nothing more than a nigger. I'm nothing more than 3/5 of a human being. I'm nothing more than free labor. This is the mentality that is still so deeply embedded within this country, and it is sickening. And it is a battle that myself, my brothers, my sisters battle each and every single goddamn day, and we shouldn't have to. But at least we're alive to sit here and to fight against this. At least we're alive to sit here and work to make change. I can't say that about Breonna Taylor. I can't say that about Tamir Rice. I can't say that about Khalif Browder. I can't say that about George Floyd. I can't say that about Philando Castile. I can't say that about Joel Acevedo. I can't say that about so many people, and I'm missing so many others because there have been so many who have been lost because of this disgustingly, systemically racist system that needs to be torn down and will get torn down. Not just torn down, but burned. And after it's burned, the ashes of it will get buried into the earth. And the earth of which it's buried will get salted, so nothing like that will ever, ever grow again. But yet, people will still think I'm sitting here just making it up. If I'm making it up, tell me this. How is it that Jacob Blake is going into his car, gets pulled by his shirt, and shot 7 times, walking away from police, not coming toward them with any kind of a weapon, walking away from police? He gets shot in the back 7 times in front of his 3 children. But Killer Kyle murders 2 people, injures another, walks right by police, and goes home. know who should be home? Jacob Blake. You know who should be home? And with us still, Breonna Taylor. You know who should be home? George Floyd. You know who should be home? Tamir Rice. You know who should be home? Trayvon Martin. But they're not. All because of this system and how it views them. This system believes that Black lives don't matter. But I am here to tell you with the utmost certainty that Black lives do matter. This is a fight that I will wage, and I will fight for the rest of my life if I have to. Because my nieces and my nephews and my great nieces and my great nephews and my son deserve better than this. And they will have it. A change is going to come. Believe that. I'm Tristain Thomas, reminding you to keep it moving forward. Always forward. Forward always. So long from Toss.